competition now kills everybody. I experienced it when I ran an airline.
Would you have been willing then, if you had been approached with the idea? Because I know this idea dates way back.
Yeah.
Would you have been willing to?
At that time, we even tried an experiment, which we should have built upon. 3 airlines: ADC, Bellevue, and EAS. That was an experiment we tried. We started interlining. You can lift my coupon, I lift your coupon at any one time, and then at the end of the day, well, things didn't work out well, but we should have improved upon that. When an experiment started, you will not get it right at once, but you must build upon it. When Air France, KLM started the experiment, and they added Kenya Airways, Air France, KLM, Kenya Airways, there was a lot of suspicion from the workers, from union, from all those complexities. But if it has worked in some economies, why can't it work in Africa? It has worked there. And they ticked all the boxes and they got it right.
Sorry, hold your thoughts. So let me bring Vickers in. As an international observer looking in from the outside, clearly we have local players have a problem here. The issue of mergers and acquisition, they're not fully embracing it. Highlighted some of the problems. What would you suggest? Perhaps they're not something they need to be told something or some things to make them realize that look, there's so many benefits as highlighted from that seminar yesterday. I'm looking at some of them: increasing market share, increasing value for customers, increasing creditworthiness for airlines. There's so many of them, but they're still not willing to embrace it. What would you advise if we were brought in as a consultant?
Well, definitely I would emphasize on technology, which is really changing the world, the way the world is thinking. And when we were just doing some research, I was just finding out it was very interesting that by 2050 there might be no checked-in baggage, there might be no immigration, there might be no customs. So that was very interesting to read, because people are projecting, or there might be a single no more passports, visas. There might be a single unified card with which people can travel worldwide. But are we really geared up for that? That's what is the question in mind. And yes, of course, technology is going to change everyone's thoughts. So there is no way we can stop technology from changing or bringing the changes to the world, but we should really gear up to that. And the best way is start thinking out of the box. If you're going to think only Nigeria is the future, yes, definitely, no doubt, but you need to start thinking that there is world outside Nigeria also. And all these airlines has to start using a lot of technology, which I think they are lacking a big time. Just coming from, let me pick 2 examples. Southwest, which is the largest carrier in US, they are a low-cost carrier. They are not a full-fledged legacy carrier. If you go down to India, the other part of the world, in India there are a couple of low-cost carriers which is going through struggling times, but they are looking at consolidation, mergers and acquisition. They are open for it. We saw one major airline in India which went down drastically, and unfortunately could be various reasons, the Kingfisher. But the other airlines are really looking for working with each others to make sure, the overall, there should be one motive, and that's what they have to solve, which is we need to get united, and there should be a healthy competition. That is more important. Competition is always good, but there should be healthy competition. You
think if you told the local operators here, that's what they will be convinced? Because we've been talking about this for so long. Boeing has been here 2, 3, 4 times. We've mentioned this. It's still not happening in the industry. How can we break? Well, I suppose there's no silver bullet, Boeing, but are the airlines going to wait to a point where they will be forced to merge?
Well, you can't love me more than myself. The operators are there. They are putting in a lot of funds to run their business. I pity them. I don't want them to go the way somebody like us went. It's very painful to start a business with an objective, and eventually you packed out. I think it's in their interest. All that we're saying, it's not that people shouting about this have any particular motive. I don't think I have anything to lose now at this age. But even if I find myself down in my grave in 100 years and I see Nigeria aviation thriving and I see some of my children there, I'll be so glad that I labored for this kind of legacy. Vickers mentioned technology. Would you know that our airlines are yet to even embrace what you call global distribution? Global distribution meaning that you are selling at a place where you have no office, where you have no staff, where nobody knows your internet or your website. All right? Far in Canberra, in Australia, somebody wants to fly in Lagos, Abuja. He has never heard of ARIC. Okay? Talk less of going to ARIC website. If you're in a global distribution system, that guy there has access to it. That's technology. You are in a market where you are not physically present. How many of our airlines are in global distribution? Just one out of these 6. Meaning that you're limiting your sales capacity, because the people flying your aeroplane are not necessarily only Nigerians. You have a lot of international visitors, and the traffic is growing. Oh, I'm watching my cost. I'll go and do my internet, and you can buy me on my web. Who knows your web at Honolulu? They've never heard of you. Okay? That's part of technology we're talking about. A lot of products that are available in global distribution.
Is it that they're not aware that these things are available, or that they, like you said, they're looking at costs? I know globally, many are looking to cut costs.
They are looking at costs. They are aware that the people, most of our practitioners are very informed. They are aware, but they are watching at the cost.
So, does that mean it's not cost effective? If they're watching costs, that means this particular concept you just mentioned, would it be too expensive for them? It is cost effective. It's because they haven't done the analysis properly. Okay, if you do the analysis properly, you will know that these are the best ways to go. If the succeeding operators of the world are doing it, if it's not cost effective, they won't be there. Now, because I know because there's competition, they watch each other, they see what they're all doing, how everybody is trying to step up. So if one airline, like Gbenga just said, is doing it and perhaps is succeeding as is, why hasn't it spread?
Well, I'll tell you, the cost factor is just not Nigeria. It's going to be worldwide. I mean, every major airline, probably every business in the world is looking at cutting costs at this pace of economy. Yes, it's definitely one important part for the airline business and to stay profitable. But you need to see that it's a long-term vision. Again, I come back to the same point. So you are investing on a technology which is not going to get you the returns probably in tomorrow or day after. It's going to get you the returns after 15, 20 years. And every business doesn't become profitable overnight. It takes time for things to get where it has to. And as rightly Gabriel mentioned, anyone in the world doesn't know what is Air Airline or what airlines are being flown in Nigeria. And there is a lot of tourist development happening in Nigeria. The African disposable income goes up. And just reading the economy, by 2050, Nigeria might be the 13th leading economy in the world as per PricewaterhouseCoopers. Now, for that, of course, everyone needs to come to Nigeria, invest, and start businesses. And the only way is the aviation has to get more stronger.
Okay, what's your thoughts for us, Gbenga, Olowo, and Vickers? We need to take a break at this point. We'll come back and talk more about the aviation industry. I've been talking to Mr. Gbenga Olowo. He's the president, Sabre Network, and Vickers Cannon, Vice President, Wheezy Technology. We've been looking at the latest developments in Nigeria.